Hello, I caught your YouTube channel and was wondering if you had any tips for Filipino wanting to attend university or work slash live in the US. This is the most realistic tips that I can tell you, okay? Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Angie. Since it is weekend, I have the chance to go through with the comment section in my YouTube and some of the messages in Facebook, and I came across to one of my subscribers request in Facebook. I'm so sorry, I just learned and I just saw that you have a message, you sent a message request in Facebook. So to those who are in my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, before I'm gonna answer and I'm gonna tell you what my subscribers ask me, please consider subscribing and click that notification button, that bell button, so you guys are notified every time I am going to upload my videos. I usually upload videos 2 or 3 times a week, and it is random. My channel is based on my experiences here in US, mainly my main struggles being alone in the US, have no other families except me and my children, and and recently I was divorced to my ex-husband, and that's the concept of our channel. But guys, I changed my channel into Angie's Story. It's because there's so many happen in my life recently and I think it doesn't align to my previous YouTube channel, which is Angie Buhay in America. Yes guys, so gonna tell you what this person asked me. Disclaimer, I am not the right person to get all of your requests or your, how can I say, I am not the certified person to give you the right answers. Please consider going to the right agencies. These are the tips that I think will be suitable, that according to my experiences. And shout out to you, Tony. You know who you are. You sent me, oh my god, that was way back in September. You sent me a message request and I just read it now, and this is his request. Hello, I caught your YouTube channel and was wondering if you had any tips for Filipino wanting to attend university or work slash live in the USA present day. Thanks for your time. Okay, so it's kind of like I struggle generally, right? I will answer that question and that request to the best of my ability. Yes guys, okay, so here's probably what I have my list. So I need to have this cheat. I have to cheat a little bit kasi it is a very like how can I say, I don't want to give you the wrong information either way, but I can tell you what I know and what I think is practical and based to my experience, because I already have my children here and we live here for over a decade. This is the most realistic tips that I can tell you, okay? Don't take me with this. I am not the immigration. I am not licensed to anything, but these are tips that I think if you want to come to USA to study, to work, to live, however you wanted it. Let's say if you want to study in the US in any universities or colleges, I would say choose the right visa. Let's say you are still in the Philippines and you want to come here and study in the US. Choose the right visa. And I searched that for a student visa, you have to apply F1 student visa. This is the main pathway for the Filipino international students. With the current administration, I don't know because I haven't had that chance. I did not go through with F1 visa. My children did not go through with F1 visa. I have no idea with that, but that is your pathway to be able to study here in the Philippines if you want to apply for a visa. But let's say you are already here and you are already living here in the US, you had your K1 visa, you have your green card. I bet you guys has already a little bit of knowledge probably on how to go through with those. But let's say you really wanted to study and you are new, you are here for 2-3 months, you are considering yourself to study in any universities. Depending on which state you are, you have to pick a school. It's either a community college or university. Community college is actually the cheaper option for everybody, especially now that it is very expensive to go to university, and it is the easier, it's easy to get in community college compared to the universities. If you want to apply in university with a scholarship for international students, it is very competitive, but it is possible. At the same time, if you are going to apply in universities, they are requiring a certain GPA. That's according to my experience with my girls. My daughter applied in Embry-Riddle, and she passed. She got accepted through, there's like a lot of communication from her high school to the University of Embry-Riddle. Then there was like an exam that she has to take, and she was given a little bit of grants, plus there was a FAFSA that we also applied to cover some of the cost of her. But you know, you guys know already the reason why she did not go through all of those. Instead, she went to Cebu Doctors University in the Philippines nowadays. So that's the first step that I will ask you, is to pick a school. Consider getting your minors in community college because it is cheaper. My God, my eyes is there. So consider getting your minors in your community college because it is cheaper. Why pay the premium amount, you know, of your minors subjects in university, right? So number 2 is probably you get the I-20 form from the school. This is actually the form of acceptance, and it is also required if you are going to apply for an F1 visa, like the student visa shortcut. Okay, then show your financial report, show your financial proof. With us, when I applied for my daughter, go through with the FAFSA. And of course, if the tuition fee, if you can afford the tuition fee, you have to pay at the front. Otherwise, they cannot get enrolled, right? So consider having to show, if you are going to an F1 visa, consider showing a proof of your financial report that you can't afford paying her tuition fee or your tuition fee plus your living expenses. It's either, it is also possible if someone will sponsor everything for you. So the sponsor letter also has to be in the F1 visa application packet. Then you have to prepare for your visa interview. I think if you are in the Philippines, it has to be done in the Philippine embassy, and this has to have, you have to put all of your convincing power. You have to convince the consul that you are going to return in the Philippines after you attended college. And there are so many loopholes that you have to go through. I know that very well because I've been in the Philippine embassy. As alone, it took us a long time before we were able to get approved by our K1 visa. Yes, guys. So another one is, I think if this is for anybody who wants to apply the F1 visa, the approval rate, I don't know, because I just, you know, like you guys, I also searched it myself in USCIS. You have to have a clear study plan, the program, the school, why you pick the school, why, you know, you have to be in the US to prove it to the consul to increase that possibilities of approval. Then what is your Philippine tie, like ties, like you have ties in the Philippines. Do you own properties? Do you have, you know, your main family is in the Philippines? Of course, that is already noted. Do you have future job plans in the Philippines? Is it like you are sent to US to study because your job requires you to study in the US? You have to have that strong relationship to the Philippines. I think for you to get that higher approval rate from the consul to come to the US to study. Then maybe another strong recommendation is bring your financial documentation, bank certificate, sponsor letter, income, resources, whatever, for you to prove that you can afford to come and study in the US. That is the route for the F1 visa if you want to come here and study in the university. And then let's say if you want to come to the US to work, okay, there are other ways as well. The most common pathway for Filipino to come to work to the US is apply an H-1B visa. I think it is very controversial in the current administration. I don't know everything. Don't quote me with this. I am not an expert. But guys, I think you will have a hard time getting an H-1 visa with the current administration. But I'm not telling you to not to apply. I'm not discouraging you. If you know that there is a company who will sponsor you here, go for it. You know, it's if you don't pay anything out of your pocket, go for it. But let's say you want to go an H-1 visa skilled worker. Remember, Trump already signed the bill that nursing is not considered as professional degree anymore. So I don't know where you fall, but let's say you for a degree based on IT, healthcare, engineering, finance, etc., it requires the US employer to sponsor you to come to the US and work. And it is a very competitive because of the yearly lottery. All of this information I'm telling you is based on the website USCIS. Okay, I'm just like breaking it down and like, you know, putting it into like bullet points. Second, you can get an H-2 visa. So the other one is for the skilled worker. The H-2 visa is a non-degree needed, like there's no degree at all. It is for a seasonal work. But this is the jobs like for hotel, landscaping, cleaning, construction, seafood processing. This will be your easiest way to come, which, you know, H-1B, but still it needs the employer sponsor. So I think the common people who has the seasonal work are the Mexicans. They come here for the seasonal construction work. I know that very well because Tommy's company hire Mexican people. They give them H-2 visa, come to work for the season, for the construction industry. Then during the winter time, they go back to Mexico. They get their unemployment, and then they will get called back again by March to come to start for the beginning of the season. So yeah, so if you have a company who can hire you with those H-2B visa, this is the fastest and the easiest way for you to come, aside from having an H-1B visa, which is the skilled worker visa. Third is agricultural work. The visa requires H-2A, and this is mainly for the farm jobs, and usually shorter contracts, but also easier to get approved. So most of the Filipinos I know will fall into healthcare. So most of us are nurses, most of us are related to medical. I have no idea how nurses come to the US, but there are steps. I guess you guys know about those. If you are a nurse, I think you have to go. Some I heard that they go to a staffing agency for them to come, but there is retribution happening right now that I think it also tied to the administration requirements. And I'm not quoting this. Please don't tell me that I am a liar. I'm just searching as you are. I'm also Googling. Okay. Another one is employment based on green card. Let's say your Filipina is already here in the US and you applied. Let's begin with my experience. Let's begin this, okay? Because this is my experience, so you cannot tell me that I lie. With my experience, I come here for a K-1 visa. After I arrived in US, we went through with the social security system. I have to get my social security number. I have to, what did I do? Like within the 90-day period, you have to get married. Once you are married, you apply your visa, the temporary ones. Then once you apply for your temporary, you get the authorization to work. That's what I get. I don't know what is nowadays, but when I sent my application, I got my biometrics and everything. I received like that ID card. It is not the green card yet. It was the authorization to work, meaning my green card was still in process, but they give me the card for me to be able to work. So I was given that, and most of Filipinos here, once you get your green card, social security number, of course, guys, you guys are able to work right away. And it is the best legal way for you to do it. Or let's say if it is based to employment. Let's say nobody sponsors you, you have no husband, you have no boyfriend who will sponsor you for a K1 visa. Let's say it is for employment. It is employment but based to green card. It is EB3 visa. Very popular pathways for Filipinos as well, especially in nurses in the past few years. I guess this is what you guys get, EB3. This is for the skilled and unskilled workers, and this is for long. There is also a long wait time for this one, so I don't know how, but it says long waiting time, but directly. But you know, guys, you're already a permanent resident in the US. EB3 visa is already considered as a permanent resident here in US. Unlike H1B visa, you are given like a contract. I think like the first 3 years, your employer can sponsor you, and then it is extended up to 6 years. Then after that, you're done, you go home. But the EB3 visa, which is based on a green card employment, you will be directed to a permanent resident. So meaning you can work, but you are resident, and it gives you the opportunity to be a citizen later on. But yes, there's so many pathways for Filipinos to be here. Example for EB3 jobs that you can get here in US. I'm not sure recently because Trump signed that nurses are not skilled workers anymore. Caregivers, cleaners, factory workers, restaurant workers, CNA. So you can get an employment from the, probably you have to use a staffing agency really if you are coming from the Philippines. I don't know the ratio of the Filipinos who come here through the EB3 visa. This is the first time I've heard it. My apology. Then another one, the question was, if you want to come to US to live and for long term, build a family or whatever, most common is a family petition. So Filipinos really, once there is one who become a citizen, it's gonna be a domino effect. It's a ripple effect because you wanna petition your mom, then your mom will petition your siblings, and so on and so forth. In my case, I can petition my mom to be here. She already has a tourist visa. I can apply her a green card, but she has to stay here long term, which is not possible for her at the moment. I don't know if she can survive here for a long time. I'm really not sure. I told her, I can get you a green card, but you have to be here minimum of 5 years. You can probably go back to the Philippines for vacation, but you have to be here 5 years for you to petition my siblings. And I don't know if she wants that. And she even cannot survive 6 months. She want to go home. And then once she's home in the Philippines, she want to come back. So you see that one? So, you know, I can get my mom a green card, technically. If you have a U.S. citizen spouse, that's the fastest route. If you have a U.S. citizen parent, the unmarried children age under 21 years old can be petitioned by the mom, by the parents. If you have a U.S. citizen siblings, this is where I'm coming from. I can petition my siblings to come to the U.S., but the wait would be 20, 30 years for them to come, to be able to come to the U.S. I'll be, how old I am right now? I'm already retired. They are also in the retiring age when, you know, by the time that they can come here. And I don't know if they will be able to get approved by then, you know? So married to a U.S. citizen. So if you want to live here in U.S. and you have already your U.S. citizen husband, of course, you get petition to come here, either from K1 visa or from the, you know, if you married in the Philippines, that is a different visa for you guys to apply. So it's very straightforward, and it has a very thorough check to avoid the fraud, to avoid the like sending the wrong information. And this one leads to a 2-year conditional green card. That's what I get. I was here K1 visa, then I got married to my ex-husband, then I was given a 2-year conditional green card. Then after that, I applied my 10-year green card. Then after my 10-year green card was released, if you are married for minimum of 3 years to your US citizen husband, you can apply for a US citizenship. That's the route that I took. But to me, it took me a while before I was able to apply for the US citizen. It's because my ex-husband will not cooperate with me because of our relationship was like going farther away and we're not in good terms. So another one is the diversity in visa lottery. I heard about this one. I had a friend. She got through US. It's because of the lottery. I don't know if it is available in the Philippines. I'm really not sure. Philippines is not eligible, I guess. Yeah, I had a friend from, I forgot their country, starts with C. She got through the lottery. Then, if you want to work as a nurse, this is very, very important to Filipinos. Everybody are nurses and in healthcare and in medical field. If you want to work as a nurse, healthcare worker, or caregiver in US, Filipinos are highly in demand in this field anywhere in the world. So it's not only in US. You can go to UK, you can go to Australia, you can go anywhere you wanted. These are the skilled that Filipinos are very strong. Again, I'm searching this, okay? For nurses, you take NCLEX. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that one. I don't know what's the meaning, but yes. Then you have to have the IELTS or the TOEFL test, depending on the state that you are going. You have to pass that. Then the employer will apply the EB3 immigrant visa for you if you want to really work here in the US. There are some pathways that Filipinos are doing. They go to UK or other countries. Then once they get the experience, they will find agencies that will get them to move to the US using the AB3 visa, which is like straight green card and permanent resident. For many caregivers who come through H2, H2B, or EB3 unskilled workers pathways. For caregivers, if you are not a nurse, if you are only a caregiver, visa falls into an H2B or EB3 visa. So there's the difference, right? You cannot get the EB3. Yeah. Okay, guys. So to improve the pathways and chances, no matter what path you are going through, these are the tips that I could say. Improve your English communication. Filipino is really good in English. Avoid scammers. If you are using agency in the Philippines, please avoid scammer. My sister gone through an agency in the Philippines that she put a lot of money and she didn't get the money back. She's not here in US, but she didn't get the money back. She also went through Canada, but that failed through as well. So be careful not to fall into scammers. There are legitimate US employers and agencies that you can go, but please search. Never ask these people if they are legitimate. They never ask for a placement fee. Never. I believe you will pay for your TOEFL, your IELTS, you pay that upfront. But I believe whatever expenses you spend during those certification process for you to be able to get your visa approved is being refunded by your employer. So never give a placement fee promising that they can get you to US to work as a nurse, to work as a caregiver. That is a scam. That is a scam. Never ask you to pay your own visa petition as well. If it is a legitimate agency, they never ask that for you. And this is also, consider this. If it is a legitimate agency, they will never message you in Messenger or in WhatsApp. Please avoid using WhatsApp. It is probably very convenient, but WhatsApp is actually not a protected site for you to give all of your informations out there. Okay? then you have to be able to prepare for the high living cost in US, and that's the reason why we are going back to the Philippines, mind you. So in the present days, granting you guys are able to come to the US to work, to go to university, or to live, aside from if you are living with your American husband, of course the American husband is a provider, of course that. But let's say you don't have a partner, you don't have a husband who will finance you, and you come to the US to work, be prepared for the living expenses here in US. My major tips to all Filipinas who come to the US, regardless of the visa that you are getting, please learn how to drive. It's because you cannot go from point A to point B if you don't have a transportation, with the exception to the cities, to the huge cities or the other states that has a transportation available for you. Like I live here in Illinois, I used to live in the Chicago area. I used not to own a car because there was a good transportation system. There are buses everywhere, there are stops, there are routes that I can go, there are train that I can go, there's metro that I go to the suburbs. If you have enough time, you can go metro in the suburbs. But within the city limits, I was able to go around with Zoe before without no car. If you are living in New York, that is also a good option for you to have a transportation. But I don't know in other state. I went to Florida, you needed a car. You need to drive if you live in Florida. California, it's a huge city to go. Most Filipinos aim California to work, but living expenses in California is not cheap either. So you have to be prepared with the living expenses if you come to work here or study here in the US. I don't have the tips if you are living here with your husband. I'm sure your husband knows better than I do. So it's up to you, between you guys, on how you're gonna expand your expenses here in the US. That actually includes to your rent. You are not paying peso, you're paying US rent. Rent here, one apartment will cost you, depending on where you are, in which location you are, the minimum cost of rent is 1,800. There are some that you can find 1,500, 1,300, but you know it's a lot. I don't know where you can find the 700. I think you get like room. You can get room for 700 or 800, like you're sharing with other people, but you don't have your own bathroom, you don't have your own kitchen, you're sharing any of this, like living condition would be like different. Your only space is your bedroom, you're sharing with another people with the living room, the kitchen, and the bathrooms. That another one is your medical bills. It is US. I've never paid medical bills and insurances until I come here. It's the huge chunk of your paycheck. You have to pay your insurance, health insurance here. So your medical bills, your taxes are very high depending on which state you are. Illinois has very high tax. Yes, guys, we pay everything here. Every move you do, you pay everything. Then also consider this: if you are in the Philippines and you haven't been abroad, you haven't been in US, not everything is like a movie when you come to the US. Not everything is like in the movie. In reality, guys, it's a totally different world. So if you are coming here, it's your first time to come here, there is culture shock probably that you are going to experience. But of course, the honeymoon period, you will be like amazed with everything the first time you see any of these places, and it's like everything will be a first time. Like me, I migrated here 2014. The first time that we experience is like the snow. So we haven't had snow in the past. I experienced cold season when I was in Europe. I've seen snow as well, but it's nothing compared to that. It is like a massive snow. I remember like I was standing next to the snow where like it's like almost the same height as her. The people in the city are so polite and nice. It is like a diverse city, but with the exception to the other locations here in Illinois and in Chicago. If you are living here in Chicago, you know what I mean. I live in Oak Park, which is a boundary of Austin in Chicago area. So it's kind of like in that boundary, Austin, and then the Oak Park, which has like the middle class people, and then this is like not so good areas. So I also live on those areas, guys. I live in near the Lincoln. I live like on the uptown side. Those are good areas as well. It's just like you know which neighborhood you are going. And yeah, so consider those. So of course, if you have your husband petition you to come to the US, you will be amazed how different culture here in US. You will see the difference. It's gonna be your first-hand experience, not mine. So it depends on which state you go, which state you are. Also, the US is not small, it's so big. You think it is small, it's really big. It's so massive. And each state has their own weather. If you want to live to somewhat like Philippine weather, then you can go to California, you can go to Florida, that those are the places for you. But if you like cold areas, oh gosh, guys, there's a lot for you here. There's a lot for you. Okay, if you want to start like a little bit of like a smaller approach, you don't want to go like start like full blast into your plan. Many Filipinas begin with you want to see the country first. You want to feel the air. You can start coming here in the US by B1 B2 visa, meaning it is a tourist visa. I don't know about the approval rate about the tourist visa nowadays. I remembered when I applied my mom, it was easy for her. It's because she is in her retiring age and she has a lot of ties in the Philippines, and that was like super easy for her. And if you are a Filipina, this is what I can recommend you. If you are a Filipina who is already here in the US and you want your parents to come to the US to visit as a tourist, apply here in US in behalf of your parents and put your information for your parents to come and visit here. You don't need an invitation letter at all. That's what I did to my mom. I applied for my mom to come visit US, not in reverse. Like your mom will apply in the Philippines and you are waiting here for the approval. No, the higher approval, I can tell you in my experience, I applied in the website for my mom. I filled up all the information. I asked her passports. I asked her, and then I did it here for myself. You have to prove that you are financially well for you to be able to bring your parents or your siblings or whoever you want to bring here to the US to visit. That's probably your advantage if you are a Filipino who is already here in US, rather than you send your parents to the US embassy to apply themselves to come and visit you. It is like, I think that's the hardest part, because it is like you get a higher rate of denial. I've seen a lot of Filipinos get denied because of that. But do my trick. Apply for your mom, apply for your siblings, apply for your family member, and you pay here. No, I think what I did, like I sent my mom money. She paid in BPI for when she got the interview date. That's all she did in the Philippines. But everything else, the application, I did it for her. And that's how she get it one time. It's only a one-time application, guys. My mom was approved with a tourist visa to come to the US. Yes, I can't remember what I did, but yes, that's really like, it's a very easy process for us. And I don't know if it was because of luck, I'm not sure. But when my mom was interviewed by the consul, she just keep an eye contact with the consul. Here's another one that you have to consider as well. When you send your application to the USCIS, before your parents or your family member get interviewed in the Philippines, you are already background checked. Your mom was already background checked. You as the person who applied for the tourist visa is already background checked here in US. So you should, I don't think it is luck at all. I think it is based on their information that they get. Because yeah, it's like no proving at all, because my mom brought everything she has. She brought all the land titles. She brought all properties that she thinks that she can prove that she has a very strong family ties in the Philippines. But the consul did not ask it from her. So my guess is like before you already get your interview date, your family member or you yourself who is a petitioner was already background checked and passed all of those. So that's why she was given the approval. Yes, you can come to the US as a tourist, and that was so easy for her, you know. Then yeah, so I think yes, I think those are my advice and tips to you guys. It's kind of like it depends to you as well. With the current administration, there's a lot of like discouragement to come to the US, but I'm not discouraging you to try. If you have a very good standing background check, you know, you can pass it through, and you have the money to process everything what I say, go for it, you know. Life is short, and Melo is trying to break my camera tripod. Life is short, you know, explore the world. So another tip as well, if you come to the US as a B1, B2 visa, go travel in the Asia first. You know, try traveling to Singapore, try traveling to Vietnam, try traveling to Japan. And because they will see if, you know, you went back to your home country. They will see if you will stay longer or you will break that contract between the US, because a lot of Filipinos are known for TNT, so they don't want to add that headache here in the current administration where everybody is being deported if you come here illegally. Yeah, I think that's all I can tell you guys. I'm not sure if I answered everything or I just narrowed down everything. If you want to come here to live, to work, to go to school, those are my mainly tips for you. Of course, the other resources for you is go to the USCIS and check yourself, because I also like search this for you guys. And that's all. Thank you so much, Tony, for your request and for your message. Have a good day, guys. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing. I am not a certified, natahul si Bilo eh. So the people are sucking up the leaves in the road. So I am not a certified person for you. Disclaimer, okay? I don't want you guys to bash me by giving all of these tips. These are the tips that I think I consider are realistic and path for all the Filipinos who wants to come and live here in the US. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your holidays in the coming week. And good luck to every kababayans who wants to come to the US. If you're coming here because you find your boyfriend or you find your husband, my God, guys, consider that. Please cherish your time to each other. Thank you so much. Have a good day.